Okay guys, today what I'm going to talk about is my diet and my approach to dieting, which some people may or may not find controversial. I don't think it's controversial, and I'm not trying to be controversial. I'm trying to be honest, and I want to explain what works best for me. Because at the end of the day, bodybuilding is such a versatile, health and fitness is such a versatile platform, open to all sorts of different ideas. The basic concepts are there. If you want to gain muscle, you have to be in a calorie surplus. If you want to lose body fat, you have to be in a calorie deficit. So we know that much. But the situation is that if it was as clear cut as that, then every single person out there would follow their favorite bikini, women's physique, or men's open bodybuilding, or men's 212, or men's classic, and they would get the same results. They'd follow the same diet, same drug protocols, same training methods, and they would get the same sort of results. As you already know, if you're watching this, that's not the case. There are 10 bodybuilders or 10 male bodybuilders in any class standing there, say, all different physiques, all looking good, and they've used most likely 10 different diets, 10 different training styles. So it's about finding what works for you. This is me sharing what works for me, and if you can get something from this, fantastic. Like I said, I want to make this open and, transparent. Okay, so let's talk about my approach to the off season when I'm trying to gain muscle. Now, there's two things that I'm looking to do before we even start diet. I want to make sure that I have the ability to utilize my nutrients as much as possible. I want to stay insulin sensitive, which is key. I don't want to have high blood sugar, and I don't want to be gaining a lot of fat. I want to be fueling my training so that I can train hard and intense, and I want to be putting on muscle. How fast can we put on muscle? No one can really tell. But I will tell you this, looking at top professional bodybuilders who I regard their muscle to be real gains, because they're going on a competitive stage in very low body fat year after year with an X amount gained. You're looking at someone like, say, Justin Compton, who is gaining 7 to 10 pounds of muscle a year. That's a fucking huge amount. People don't realize that. I see people out there who have gone on a test and DECA cycle and they've gained 10 pounds in the first week, claiming for it to all be muscle. It feels good. You do look bigger, and in some cases it might look like muscle, but really, trust me, your body cannot manufacture that sort of tissue, within a short time frame. This game is a long game. So you want an approach that's going to last a long time. So if actually, without getting too scientific, look at a muscle and what a muscle consists of. Muscle's made up of all these cells, obviously, and inside that's mainly protein. And the muscle itself cells are made up themselves of fat. So protein and fat are basically what a muscle's made up of. This is what your muscle's made up, my muscles are made up of. So the two essential ingredients really to building muscle tissue are protein and fats. You don't need that much fats, but you need to get your essential fats in. You need fat in your diet. Yes, you need some good saturated fats. So really, you want to cover those bases. So to start off with, what I do is that meal-wise, 5 meals, 8 meals, 10 meals, what I do is that I go for something which I know fits my lifestyle. For me, it's 5 meals a day. Something with enough time gap between meals where I'm hungry and I feel like my food is digested well. Again, 5 meals works perfectly for me. For you, it might be 6. For some people, it might be 8. I make sure that I have a blueprint plan of my protein and my fats. So I eat a very high protein diet. I don't feel it's forced. I have a hunger for protein. It's what I enjoy a lot of steak. I'm sorry if I offend any vegans out there. It's not the intent of this video. I like my fish. I like to eat big scrambles. I like to have a lot of chicken. I spend time cooking it fresh, so it's very easy for me to get that down. I would say at 1.5 grams to 2 grams per pound of muscle tissue is more than enough. And I'll be honest with you, reading studies, because I do like to read studies, I don't just like to use people around me as an example, like in the gym. Reading studies, what we're seeing coming out now is that when you have a higher protein intake, so let's say you have 2,000 calories, and you've got 10 people running 2,000 calorie diet, and most of their diet is made up of protein, so most of their calories are coming from protein sources, versus somebody who's got a low protein diet and or moderate even, and their sources are coming from carbs and fats predominantly. It's showing time and time again, not that they build more muscle, more that their muscle they build is they build a lot more fat-free muscle. You know, thermogenesis, this sort of thing comes into play. I have noticed with the high protein, I stay leaner. Okay. Now you might think to yourself, oh, what's the point of that? Why don't you just do cardio? If you've got the ability to do that and your protein is going to keep you leaner and you know you're going to make better gains overall, then why not? So the protein and fat is fixed. So my diet has, say, 5 meals on it where the protein and fat is completely fixed. And I will make sure I eat that no matter what, okay? The way I look at it is if I'm in a deficit for a few days, guess what? I'm not going to lose muscle. I'm going to lose fat, maybe some water. I don't fret over that. I don't fret on my weight going down because I know the protein and fat is covering there. If I was dieting, you know, especially with enhancements, I'm going to keep my muscle. Now, in terms of carbohydrates, which are the preferred energy source for the body, it's what your body wants to use as an energy source. When you're training, someone like me going to do MMA, you know, very high intensity cardio, you're going to pull on glycogen stores. You're going to use those carbohydrates. I eat on how I feel. That's the truth. Now, a lot of people are going to be like, well, if that's the case, then why can't I just have, you know, if I'm going to eat on feel, then I'll have, I don't know, let's give you an example. Like, I'll have a steak, I'll have some vegetable, and I'm going to have a cheesecake. Of course, you can do that. That's an idiotic question to me, because when I say I eat on hunger, I am making sure that the carbohydrate sources that I can choose from are where the ingredient is itself. So like oats, potatoes, rice, fruits, vegetables. You know, the dirtiest I'll get is like a bagel, you know, maybe a Pop-Tart. Now, how do I do it is that I go from meal to meal. If I wake up in the morning, I'm feeling really hungry. I know what it's like to eat my breakfast, just the eggs, because obviously I'm used to eating that. And I'd be like, do you know what? I fancy some oats. Now, I will tell you this, that this is the difference between whole food, earth from the earth, whole foods, versus man-made food. And this is not me getting into a religious debate or scientific debate. It's a fucking fact. If I had a packet of biscuits, I will go through the whole packet. I'm not one of those people that can have one biscuit. So if I was to say, do you know what? I feel hungry. Let me just have a few biscuits with my tea and my breakfast. I will eat the whole packet. But I guarantee anyone watching this video, if you're feeling hungry in the morning, say to yourself, I'm just going to have oats. You can have some cinnamon in there, maybe a bit of salt. I have salt in there. Maybe even garnish it with some raisins. How much can you fucking eat? You really think you're going to eat 150, 200 grams? You really think you're going to eat between 12 and 14 ounces of oats? Believe me now, most people after 120, 130 grams of oats, they are full, and they are full for hours. You see, your food selection choice here is so important. I don't even weigh the carbohydrate sources I'm eating because I know for a fact that I'm genuinely hungry if I can fucking eat that. If I can eat 3 baked potatoes, which is like 400 grams, with relative ease, then do you know what? I'm good. You know, my hunger's there. It's not a false hunger because believe me now, I'm hungry to eat Magnums and Haagen-Dazs anytime. So that's my approach and it's working really well. I stay lean. I don't use any exotic compounds or anything like that that gives me an artificial hard or dry look. You know, my training sessions I always have fantastic pump. You know, I feel like my digestion is just phenomenal. You know, I never feel like I'm force feeding because I go from meal to meal. I go between days. If I'm finding a day where I don't feel like eating carbohydrates, I'll just stick to my protein diet until I start to get that hunger back in maybe 2-3 days. Guess what? Yeah, I lose 2 or 3 pounds, but then my muscles fill back up again and we'll just keep going. I'm looking at trying to build a better body here, not necessarily just trying to force feed my way to a scale way. Because in my experience, that it's not only just about building muscle. I feel like shit doing it. I don't have great sessions doing it. I feel like every meal's a struggle. I feel like I can't do things between my meals. Do you see what I'm saying? So this is a really, really good way that I find to diet in the off season, something that I think other people can use. You're not tied down to a scale either. I'm not worrying like, oh my God, if I had 110 gram of oats instead of 90 gram of oats, I just eat like on how I feel. I can eyeball it enough. And like I said, because my sources are whole foods, I know the hunger's there. Because like I say to you, I challenge anyone, you feel starved. And I say to you, hey, do you know what? Just have oats. You're really hungry, just have oats. You can have banana to flavor them, or you can have some strawberries and blueberries, but have oats until you're full. Believe me now, you will be full within 100, 150 grams. If I say to you, hey, have this cake or this ice cream, you'll eat the whole fucking tub. Many people will do that. Many people won't have one Pop-Tart. They'll have 3 or 4 Pop-Tarts. Many people won't have one bowl of Cocoa Pops. They'll have 3 or 4 bowl of Cocoa Pops. It's very easy to eat these foods that have got preservatives, very easy to eat these foods that have got artificial sugars and stuff in them. They've got, you know, ingredients in them that trigger off insane levels of hunger. But when you stick to good whole food, I'm telling you right now, nature has put it in it so that you won't overeat. I dare anyone, you're really hungry, see how many apples you eat. Believe me now, you only have 2 or 3, maximum. Do you really think you'd fucking have a massive binge? Like if you could have a whole packet of Doritos when you're hungry. But you see, if I said to you, all right, can you eat as much fruit as you want? How much fruit could you really eat? Even eating fucking 500 grams, which is half a kilo of watermelon, hasn't even got much calories in it. So this is the way you've got to look at it. Work with your body, work with your digestive system, and I guarantee you'll make growth. Now you will see people out there fucking bloated out their eyeballs, running huge amounts of gear, okay, force feeding themselves. Oh, my blood works okay, my blood works okay. That doesn't say you mean shit. Their heart, everything. They're not looking at that aspect of it. They're not looking at their digestive system. They're not looking at how their sleeping is. Do you know how they got sleep apnea from all this food they're forcing? They're living a misery day in, day out. Their whole thing has become, oh, can I eat this? When realistically, just logically think about it, they want to take things that stimulate their appetite. The best way to stimulate your appetite is to listen to your appetite. Now, obviously, you've got newbies out there who start training and they eat ridiculously low amounts of food. But once you know, all right, this is what I need to eat for my protein, this is what I need to eat for my fats, you will be able to make the carbohydrate changes. And you know what? You will make the best gains you've ever made and you will stay lean. You won't be walking around bloated. You won't be walking around feeling sick. You won't be walking around having to measure everything. I see it as a win-win situation. You know, this is a slow game. The tortoise versus the hare is a tortoise's game. Bodybuilding takes time to accrue muscle. It takes time to build muscle. You know, you really think if you're going to add 30, 40 pounds in 3 or 4 months, you really think, we have never seen an Olympia contender who have the best genetics in the world, respond the best to food, respond the best to training, respond the best to steroids. We have never seen anyone jump 30, 40 fucking pounds in a year of muscle. We're talking big guys. Dorian Yates came back and he was like, everyone was like, wow, like where did this guy come from in 1993? He comes back and everyone's like, God, where's all this muscle come from? He'd gained, I think it was like 8 to 10 pounds. 8 to 10 pounds. I'm hearing guys on forums do that in a week. Like, I'm not slagging them off. If that's what you want to do, that's fine. But if you're in this game to build good quality tissue, it takes time. And yes, the more muscle you build, the more food you will need to eat. If you're eating like I prescribe, and 4 months down the line you haven't gained a single fucking pound, then you're not doing it right. You're going to have to force feed a bit. But if your weight's coming on slowly, 1 or 2 pounds a month, your strength is going up, you feel good in the gym, you're doing the right thing. Don't worry about scales. Take pictures. Look at your pictures. I've seen people who have done a year off season. They've only gained between 6 and 8 pounds, and they look massively different. Massively. So just up to you, really. But that's my take on dieting. That's what I do. I want to share it with you guys.